Coming in at number 20, we have AbbVie Inc., ticker symbol ABBV. Now, AbbVie is a biotech company that was spun off from Abbott Labs back in 2013. They have a focus on developing various drugs for things like immunology, oncology, and virology. It occupies or takes up approximately 0.5% of Berkshire's total portfolio. Most recent dividend yield of 4.2%, and their most recent dividend was $1.30 per share. Coming in at number 19, we have Amazon, AMZN, occupies 0.6% of Berkshire's total portfolio. Amazon does not issue dividends. Number 18 is Snowflake, ticker symbol SNOW. They also take up approximately 0.6% of Berkshire's total portfolio, which equates in their case to just around 6 million shares. Snowflake is a cloud-based data platform, and they allow for customers to consolidate their data, very important in back-end computing. They also, much like Amazon, do not issue dividends. Number 17, the Liberty Sirius XM Group takes up 0.7% of the portfolio. Again, this is another stock that does not issue dividends. The 0.7% equates to around 43 million shares of this particular company. As the name might imply, with the Sirius XM moniker attached to it, this is a entertainment business. They do music, sports, entertainment, comedy, weather, everything that would generally come through the radio, through the satellite radio and mobile and internet applications. Number 16 is Visa. 0.7% of the Berkshire portfolio, 0.7% dividend yield, and the most recent dividend was 38 cents per share. That 0.7% equates to over 9.5 million shares of Visa and a value of well over $2 billion. Well, I think it's relatively self-explanatory what Visa does, world's largest digital payments company, leader in digital payments, and of course virtually synonymous with credit and debit cards. Stock symbol of simply the letter V. At number 15, we have Kroger. Headquartered in Cincinnati, Ohio, Kroger is one of the largest retailers in the United States. Of course, they focus on groceries, but they also have gas stations, pharmacies, and jewelry stores. 0.8% of the Berkshire Hathaway portfolio, 1.9% dividend yield, and their most recent dividend was 21 cents per share. Stock symbol KR. At number 14, we have VeriSign. 0.9% of Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio. They do not issue dividends. Berkshire Hathaway holds just under 13 million shares of VeriSign with a market value of a little over $2 billion. The company is a globally diversified provider of domain name registry services based out of Reston, Virginia. They operate a diverse array of network infrastructure, including 2 of the Internet's 13 root name servers, and they are responsible for the registration of .com, .net, and .name top-level domains, as well as .cc and .tv domains. They are also the back-end system for .jobs, .gov, and .edu. At number 13, we have Chevron, ticker symbol CVX, 1.0% of Berkshire's portfolio, 4.5% dividend yield with the most recent dividend of $1.34 per share. Chevron, of course, is the second largest U.S. oil company, only behind ExxonMobil. They have increased their dividends for over 40 consecutive years. A good investment by any stretch of the imagination. Number 12 is Charter Communications, another 1% of Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio. The company does not issue dividends. Berkshire holds around 4 million shares of Charter Communications with a market value of around $3 billion. The company operates broadband internet and cable services in the United States under the name Spectrum. Next up at number 11, we have General Motors, ticker symbol GM, largest automaker in the United States. They, of course, make automobiles. They build cars. They design, build, sell cars, trucks, SUVs, parts for thereof. 1.1% of Berkshire's portfolio. The company does not currently issue dividends. Berkshire owns around 60 million shares of GM with a market value of over $3 billion. We now break into the top 10 with the Bank of New York Mellon Corporation, 1.3% of Berkshire's portfolio. The company has a dividend yield of 2.3%, and their most recent dividend was 34 cents per share. Berkshire's portfolio contains over 72 million shares of this company, worth nearly $4 billion. The Bank of New York Mellon Corporation is a global financial services company with nearly $16 billion in annual revenue, and they operate in more than 35 countries around the world. At number 9, we have DaVita Inc., ticker symbol DVA, 1.4% of Berkshire's portfolio. The company does not issue dividends. Berkshire Hathaway holds around 36 million shares of the company, worth nearly $4 billion. DaVita, also known as DaVita Kidney Care, obviously provides kidney dialysis services for people with kidney failure and renal disease issues. They operate dialysis centers around the world. Number 8 is U.S. Bancorp, also known as U.S. Bank. 2.6% of Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio, dividend yield of 3.2%, and their most recent dividend was 46 cents per share. This obviously is a bank. It is currently the 5th largest bank by assets in the United States. Number 7 is Verizon, ticker symbol VZ, 2.9% of Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio with a dividend yield of 4.9%, and their most recent dividend was 64 cents per share. Verizon, of course, is in the telecommunications industry, one of the largest players in that space. Wireless or mobile phones is the bulk of their business, but they are also involved in broadband and cable services as well. Number 6 is Moody's, ticker symbol MCO, 3% of Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio, dividend yield of 0.65%, and their most recent dividend was 62 cents per share. Moody's, of course, is the first name when it comes to analyzing investments and rating securities. This is a company that now has $6.2 billion in annual revenue. Number 5 is the Kraft Heinz Company, ticker symbol KHC. 4.1% of Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio, 4.43% dividend yield, and their most recent dividend was 40 cents per share. This company was created in 2015 via a merger between the Kraft Food Group and the H.J. Heinz Company. This was due in no small part to the efforts of Berkshire Hathaway itself. Kraft Heinz, of course, is a processed food company. Things such as macaroni and cheese and ketchup initially come to mind, but they also have a wide-ranging product portfolio that includes condiments, sauces, pizzas, frozen meals, and infant foods, baby food. Very, very diverse. Coming in at number 4, we have a company that has been very closely associated with Warren Buffett, and that is the Coca-Cola Company. It comprises 7.1% of Berkshire's total portfolio with a dividend yield of 2.8%. Their most recent dividend was 42 cents per share. Coca-Cola, of course, being the world's largest beverage company, known, of course, for their soda pop, or as Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, would say, their sugar water. But they also own or license more than 500 unique non-alcoholic brands, everything from juices to purified water. The company operates in more than 200 countries worldwide with an annual revenue of over $37 billion. This is a company that has increased their dividends consecutively for the last 59 years. At number 3, we have another financial services company, American Express, ticker symbol AXP, 8.6% of Berkshire's total portfolio. This is one of their longest held stocks. Dividend yield of 1.02%, and their most recent dividend was 43 cents per share. As you can see, and as most people are well aware, American Express, much like Visa, is also virtually synonymous with credit cards. Historically, their card offerings were unique in that they did not allow for revolving debt, cards that required you to pay off the entire balance at the end of the month. But they have, of course, since moved into other areas of the credit card space, and they are generating revenues of billions and billions of dollars per year. Number 2, Bank of America Corporation. This is one of the largest financial stocks in the world. They have a market capitalization of over $365 billion. This comprises 14.6% of Berkshire Hathaway's overall portfolio, dividend yield of 1.82%, and their most recent dividend being 21 cents per share. Berkshire's holdings in Bank of America are worth over $43 billion. That is over 1 billion with a B, shares of Bank of America stock held by Berkshire Hathaway. And last, but certainly not least, the number 1 top stock holding in Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio, we have Apple, ticker symbol AAPL. This comprises a whopping 42.7% of Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio, dividend yield of 0.48%, and their most recent dividend was 22 cents per share. Berkshire holds over 880 million shares of Apple, making this investment worth more than $125 billion. As we all know, Apple revolutionized personal computing with the introduction of the Macintosh in 1984, and since then we've seen iPhones, iPads, everythings, Apple TV, Apple Watches. And they also have a services segment that sells music, apps, and subscriptions. So they are not completely tied to hardware sales. They have steady revenue streams coming in from elsewhere. And one of the things that Apple is well known for is sitting atop an enormous hoard of cash in their so-called war chest. And that, folks, wraps up our listing of the top 20 stock holdings of Berkshire Hathaway and world's greatest investor, Warren Buffett.